UFC Fight Night San Antonio, Vera versus Sandhagen takes place this weekend, and I'm going to go through the full card breakdown and in detailed prediction, starting with the early prelim opener of Tamyra's Vidal versus Haley Cohen. This one was put together a bit on short notice. I'm going to be going for Tamyra's Vidal, though, to get this one done. I mean, Haley Cohen's good, but I mean, she ain't that good. Like, she lost to Kelly Clayton, who was 1-2 with a guillotine. Guillotines these days don't even work. And she got submitted by her back in 2020, which isn't even that long ago. Only 3 years ago. And that was in September as well, so not really the full 3 years. 2.5 years ago. She was supposed to fight Perez. She probably would have won that, but I think she'll win here against Tamyra's Vidal, who's 24 years old, looked good in her last fight against Ramona Pascal. She beat a 5-1 opponent as well. For a 5-0 opponent, she beat Perez. At least that fight went through, whereas Cohen pulled out. I'm going to be going with, I think she pulled out because of an injury, but since in Texas, she rushed back to be on this card. I see her getting put out early with TKO or something. We move on up the card. Venetia Salvador versus Victor Altamirano. I'm going to be going for Venetia Salvador. Altamirano's good. By the way, I want to be really good on this card because last card I was placed number 2 in the Topology server, so I want to keep this going. I don't think Altamirano is that good, if I'm going to be honest. Like, he's taken the time off since August. Now he's back here in March. And both late in the months, like August 20th, as where he's back here on the 25th. I just don't see what's really that good in Altamirano. Like, Salvador's good, but he's not great. But, he beat Shannon Ross on the Contender Series, He beat Shannon Ross, he beat an 0-0 guy making his debut. He's not great. I don't really know on this one. Let's be real. I might change a few picks, but I think he'll catch Altamirano on the chin out of nowhere and be really quick for him early in a bit of a firefight. So Altamirano could get late. I think he beat Carlos Hernandez, but I'm going to go Salvador catching him early on the chin. He got dropped badly in his last one against... Who was it against again? Oh, it was against Daniel Da Silva. And Silva's not good. I'll pick Salvador. We move on up the card to Manuel Torres versus Trey Ogden. I'm going to go for Trey Ogden. I don't think Manuel Torres is that good. I haven't found him, like, a good prospect. Like, he beat Frank Camacho, I get it, but he didn't look good in that fight, and it's Frank freaking Camacho, who's not that good. And he eventually caught him, I get it, but an old Frank Camacho who's way past his prime. As where Trey Ogden's pretty good, Jordan Levitt's not bad. He just beat his last opponent in Victor Martinez. He's not bad, and he made that fight very close, and some people thought he won that fight. I thought Levitt personally won, but some people actually thought he won that fight. And he beat Daniel Zahuber in that last one as well, which was a good win, undefeated 12-0 prospect. I think he'll derail another hype train here in Torres. I think he'll survive an early onslaught and win the last 2 rounds by just out-hustling and out-grappling Torres. I can see that happening. So I'm going to go for Trey Ogden getting that one done. I don't get how Torres is that big of a favorite, to be honest with you. We move on up the card. CJ Vergara versus Daniel Da Silva. I'm going to be going for CJ Vergara. This one's a self-explanatory one. I mean, Daniel Da Silva. What's good about him? What's good about him? He lost to Altamirano, looked good early on, but he lost to Figueiredo as well. Got knee barred by Francisco Figueiredo, and Jeff Molina put him out. I know he looked good early in that fight, but I think CJ Vergara can get this one done. And he does have big power, Daniel Da Silva, but I don't see the type of guy Vergara just getting laid out cold. Because he looked good against Tatsuro Taira, but got armbarred. Shit happens. It's Tatsuro Taira as well. But he looked good against Clayton Rodriguez. You know, arguably should have lost that, but he still looked good. And he looked good against Odi Osborne as well, who's pretty good in that division. So, I trust CJ Vergara getting this one done with the grappling by some sub or decision. I don't know yet. We move on up the card. Trevin Giles versus Preston Parsons. I'm going to go for Trevin Giles. Although I'm a bit worried for this one. I don't know why. Because Giles is so hit and miss sometimes. I do think he wins against Parsons, though. It's Preston Parsons. Like, he's not that good. Giles, like, he's alright. Like, Giles, like, he's capable. You know, he lost to a grappling match to Mike Malott. You know, that was a good grappling match. It's Mike Malott, though. But before that in the UFC, he beat Louis Koske. Good win there. In a boring fight is what I remember. But, you know, Michael Morales, not bad. Not a bad fighter. Michael Morales, you know, prospect coming up. And he looked good early in that fight. Caught Morales off balance early in the fight as well. Maybe it was the jitters from Morales. But I just don't. I think you have to be really, like. I think you have to be really spot on. You gotta be, like, awake to beat Trevin Giles. You can't be sloppy in the pocket. Giles can catch you. And he looked good against Strickus, but got clipped. Whatever. Strickus, top 5 now. He beat Delidze, though. Arguably should have lost that fight. I get it, but it's Delidze. And he beat Bavon Lewis, and he beat James Krause. I think he wins this one against Parsons, who isn't that good. He beat Evan Elder, like, and he got destroyed by Rodriguez. I'll go Giles winning that one. We move on up the card. Steven Peterson versus Lucas Alexander. Interesting one here. I'm going to be going with, actually, you know, I'm going to go Steven Peterson, but I don't know. Lucas Alexander seems like a good guy, like a guy that could actually win this one, because although he lost to Brito in that last one, he beat Jacob Kilburn. He's beating Cans, though. So I will go for Peterson, but Peterson ain't that good. Like, he ain't great. Like, Caceres beat him. Pena beat him. You know, he beat Matt Bissett. You know? I don't see what's really good with him. He beat Chase Hooper. Although he did go to a split decision war against Julian Erosa, I don't see what's really that good with him. He beat Martin Bravo with that iconic classic spinning back fist. I get it. But it's Martin Bravo, and that's going to happen at least 1 out of 100 times. So I'll pick him to win this one, just beating Lucas Alexander, but I wouldn't be surprised if Alexander pulls up an upset. So I will go for Steven Peterson. No, maybe this is the one where I should have trusted my gut and Alexander wins, but I just don't see what's good with Alexander. Like, he's being legit cans. I think Peterson wins it. We move on up the card to Daniel Pineda versus Tucker Lutz. Daniel Pineda. Yeah, he's back. Don't know where he's been. Yeah, I'm going to go for Tucker Lutz, probably winning this one. Yeah, you can't trust Pineda. Like, he's 37 years old. He's been inactive. His last fight was against Cub Swanson, where, like, he just got brutally KO'd, and Swanson's not looking good, and he beat Herbert Burns. You know, it's just... Yeah, I just think Tucker Lutz can get this one done. Tucker Lutz is not great, but he survived Pat Sabatini. I don't see Pineda beating him on the ground. I could see him maybe getting a KO here at some point in the fight. Maybe round 2 KO. You know, he beat Kevin Aguilar. Yeah, I'll go Lutz by KO. Pineda's kind of chinny. We move on up the card to the main card. Chidi Jaquan versus Albert Duraev. Don't get the matchmaking here. This is a lock. There's no way Duraev wins this, I don't think. Sure, he can out-grapple Jaquan, but Jaquan beat guys like Marc-Andre Barrios easily. You know, Dusko Todorovic easily. You know, probably easier than Christian Leroy Duncan. In hindsight, let's be real. I know he got the KO, and Todorovic was injured against CLD, but he did lose to Rodriguez, but he was whooping Rodriguez beforehand, but then he just started gassing out. So maybe Duraev pushes through here, you can get it, but well, actually the difference is night and day is to stand up. Duraev's chinny. Chidi has power. I could see a first round KO from Chidi here. I think he wins it. Maybe he'll be more patient this time, but I can see this being an early KO for Chidi and Jaquan. Albert derives Chinny. He lost to Joaquin Buckley, which isn't aging too well. I think he wins it. Chidi and Jaquan. What's the odds here? If Derive's a favorite, no way. Kind of dumb, but whatever. Understandable. Chidi wins, though. We move on up the card. Alex Perez versus Manel Cap. I'm going to be going for Manel Cap. I don't see Perez out-grappling him. I don't see Perez KOing him. Can I see Cap out-grappling Perez? Yeah. Can I see Cap KOing Perez? I can. I think Cap wins this one. Just get out the way of the leg kicks, and you're fine. I think he'll win it. He's looking good recently, Cap. He beat David Dvorak that last one. I think he wins. I do. I think he'll KO. No, I think he'll just win a close decision over Perez, I'll say. He wins a close decision, competitive decision. Perez has his moment late in the round, but I'll go first 2 rounds for Cap, just outstriking Perez and just taking the back at moments. I can see Cap winning. We move on up the card. Close fight, though. We move on. Andrea Lee versus Macy Barber. I'm going to be going for Macy Barber. Andrea Lee's blueprint's been set. She's not that good. Like, let's be real. Obviously she's decent, but yeah, I mean, Erwa, beat her and outgrinded her, you know. She beat Calvia and Shevchenko, 2 of the worst female fighters. You know, Modafferi beat her. Murphy beat her. Wood beat her. I think Barber can enter the mix. And she coming off good wins. She beat Jessica I, Montana De La Rosa, Miranda Maverick. Even though she should have lost, she still made that fight competitive. And she lost to Grasso and Modafferi, which she hurt her knee. But Grasso, now the champion, made that fight kind of close. You know? So I think she wins it. We move on up the card. Nate Landwehr versus Austin Lingo. I'm going to be going with Nate the Train from the UFC, baby. Nate the Train from the UFC. I think he wins it. Not just because I did that. I genuinely think he wins it over Austin Lingo. Sucks Caceres pulled out. I'm going to say that first off, but I just don't think Lingo can out-grapple him. I think you got to KO Landwehr in order to beat him. And David Onama is explosive as hell. And he gassed out and lost and kind of got dominated. You know, and Onama almost KO'd him. He beat Klein, which isn't great, but he lost Julian Rosas, who's pretty good. And Herbert Burns in the first fight. If they did a rematch, Landwehr would kind of drown him, I think. I think he wins this one over, I think he beats Austin Lingo. Lingo will try to shoot him, but Landwehr will beat him on the feet. Smoke him up. I'll go 3rd round finish, because Lingo's taken on short notice. I know we were supposed to fight Ricardo Ramos, but different styles here completely. We move on up the card to the co-main event. Holm versus Yana Kunitskaya. Now her name is Yana Santos. I'm going to go for Holm, but it's worrying. You know, because she didn't look good against Ketlin Vieira, but in hindsight, I know some people could disagree, but she arguably should have won that fight against Ketlin Vieira. In my opinion, you know, she beat Aldana, you know, which is a good win. She beat Pennington as well. We can't forget this. She beat both of them and schooled Aldana. Aldana is in the talks for the belt next. You know, and Holm schooled her. Lost to Nunes, whatever, but you know what I'm saying? You know, I think she can win against Ketlin. I think she could have won against Ketlin Vieira. And Yana Kunitskaya, I don't know why she had a layoff, but I know she beat Ketlin Vieira, but she arguably should have lost as well. Realistically, but she could have won on damage, though. But Aldana KO'd her. You know, Aspen Ladd KO'd her. And Julio Stolyarenko is hit and miss. Like, I'm going to trust Holm to win this one. 29-28 decision. 30-27. Just clinching up and outboxing and outstriking Yana Kunitskaya range. I think she wins it. I think she does. We move on to the main event. Marlon Vera versus Corey Sandhagen. Yeah, if this card didn't have this main event, it'd be a shit show. It'd be an Apex card, really. I'm gonna go for Corey Sandhagen. I have to pick Corey Sandhagen. Marlon Vera's good. You know, he's a good fighter. He's on the streak right now. It'd be better for the UFC if he won this because he can run back the O'Malley Vera 2 fight. I think Sandhagen will spoil the show and school Marlon Vera for 4 rounds. And he'll have a tough 5th and Vera will come back, but too little, too late. Sandhagen survives. I think Sandhagen's going to make him look silly. I'll make a more in-depth prediction later this week, probably tomorrow, as always. But yeah, I think Marlon Vera is gonna get scolded. I just can see it. Him trying to come in, but not landing much. 1-2 from Sandhagen. 1-2 head kick. You know, I can see Sandhagen just timing him and scolding him. I got Sandhagen. He's so good at striking, man. So good. I know he lost to Petr Yan, but I bet you if they both had a full count for that, Sandhagen wins. Just gonna say how it is. He almost won that fight in general, but he kind of got rocked in round 5 because of a spinning wheel kick. If he didn't get rocked by that, he wins and he fights for the title. Sandhagen would win a rematch against Yan, I think. You gotta say it now. Yan's grappling ain't that good. Offensively, and he schooled up Yadong and took the shots off Yadong. So if Vera can land, if Vera, he has a chance Vera to land that shot, but Sandhagen's took it and a spinning back fist clean on the chin from Petr Yan drops you, and he still recovered. I had to pick him, and he won against Dillashaw. We all know that. I think he won that fight. Just the grappling weakness is there, and he's improving offensively with it as well. I can see him being patient early, schooling up Vera for the first 2 rounds. Then in round 3, he'll mix in some grappling. I can see Sandhagen having a great performance here, but I can see him winning round 4 barely. Round 5, Vera cracks him or something, drops him bad, has a big moment. Is Vera gonna have the huge comeback? But he doesn't. I don't think. I think Sandhagen will survive. He's been through it. He's been through the moment. I think Sandhagen wins it. I think he does. He fought Yadong, schooled up Yadong. It had been stopped to do a cut, but I think Sandhagen would have schooled him afterwards as well. Beat Edgar, beat Moraes. Yeah, I think Sandhagen wins this one. Winner of this one can fight Merab. If it's Sandhagen, definitely. If it's Vera, no disrespect, but UFC's promised O'Malley a title shot, so even if you win this dominantly, Vera, you're going to have to wait or fight Merab. You're probably going to have to fight Merab because Merab's now number 1. So the winner of this one versus Merab, I think, is logical. Fight night main event in the Apex. And the winner of this one versus the winner of Merab can fight for the belt, I think. So I think if Vera wins this, he needs one more. As sad as it is for him, he needs one more if he wins this. Or he can just wait. But according to the rankings, he can't really. Sandhagen, I think, wins it. And Sandhagen can face Merab. I think both of them would lose to Merab, but I think Sandhagen will have a flawless victory here. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Full card predictions. Hope you enjoyed, and yeah, peace.